originally got offered the job at Yonda's, I said, no, I'm going to get my master's degree in composition.
No, right, weird shit.
Yeah.
So I remember I was like, who the hell's this guy pouring a bunch of BB fucking pellets all over this goddamn vibraphone? Like, what the hell, man?
Oh, baby. Yeah. I still
What are you
find
doing up
those
there?
from time to time. That was
We found those in the studio all the time. We're like,
four
where are
songs
these
for a
from?
winter solstice. Yeah, man, that was a fun vibraphone piece, dude.
For a while, like almost every year that I was there, it was like a running joke between like me and Doc. Like one of the new freshmen would be like, "Yeah, I found this BB down here. I don't really know what it's from." And just be like, "Oh, it's from Justin. We still found them."
For sure. So yeah, I wrote a piece for Prepared Timpani, which I had, for as far as I knew at that time, no one else had ever done that. Actually, I had a dude hit me up recently that I think like he just hit me up the other day for my birth year. He's performing it on his master's recital.
Nice, man.
He's from the East Coast getting a master's degree in percussion performance. I had a dude from Brazil, Pedro Sá, who's actually kind of like a legit, like he teaches at a university there and is endorsed by Black Swamp. Hit me up not long after I had published the piece and asked for the score because he wanted to use it in his doctoral thesis as an example.
That's awesome, dude.
So he did send me. I told him, like, yeah, you can have it for free. Like, I'm not trying to sell it. Like, that was never my goal with that music. Here's the PDF of the score and all of my footnotes. I'd be really interested to see your work when it's done.
Yeah. So
he sent it to me, but it's all in Portuguese. It was from Brazil. So I can see that my examples are there, but I have no idea. He's probably saying, like, this guy's a dumbass. Like, don't even pay attention to
this
what
is how you not do this.
Right. This is the perfect example of what not to do. But that was, like, 2016 maybe, because that piece came out in 13.
Okay.
So maybe it's 15. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, I've got a YouTube video. You can check that out if you want to see like what I was like really passionate about, and I still am passionate about. It's just like I haven't recently dedicated time to it. Is I have go to my YouTube channel. You can check out my piece for Prepared Timpani. There's one where Dr. Bierman from UNK gives it a really nice introduction, kind of explaining what it is. The video, it's not a video of me performing; it's an audio recording, but it's got shots of the score, so you can kind of see how I wrote it,
nice,
and all the footnotes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a performance of me playing A Stillness That Better Suits This Machine by Casey Cangelosi, which is a really interesting piece for 2 wood blocks, 3 triangles, and Bilotti trinome, which is like a fancy metronome, and desk bell.
Nice.
And that's a really cool piece that I think people should check out. And I'm one of the only other people to have performed it other than him because the Bilotti trinomes are like impossible to find.
Really?
And lo and behold, I was searching for one for like a year because I really wanted to play this piece. And I walk in the music office at UNK, and I'm just like talking to Riley Sheets, and I like kind of glance up, and on top of this bookshelf, there's holy shit, there's a Bilotti trinome sitting up there. I'm like, what's that? And he's like, I don't know. It's just been there. I was like, can I take it? And he was like, well, you can't. I was like, no, can I take it and show it to Bierman? Yeah. Okay. I was like, dude, look what I found.
It's right here.
So I bought the piece.
Hell yeah.
And learned it and played it on the honors recital. And it was a whole deal. And that still sits in Bierman's office because nobody else knows what it is. And they're like, I mean, they sell for like $1,000 on eBay. I mean,
that's
it's
crazy.
like stupid.
You just randomly add one?
Just randomly you can have this freaking vintage metronome that was made for like 3 years. Just the stupidest thing to ever have. It's just sitting in the music office with like 8 decades of dust on it, you know.
That's crazy.
So, but anyway, that's who I am. That's where I am. Playing a bunch. Coming up here soon. Playing on Thursday at the Zoozeum.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of opportunities to see me play a whole bunch of different stuff. Thursday at the Zoozeum, I'm doing solo acoustic stuff. So my originals and maybe some 90s covers. This Saturday, 29th, at the Chocolate Bar, the Dogs are playing full band at the Chocolate Bar in Grand Island for Leap Day, 8 to 11. And then 13th and 14th, we're in Kearney with the Dogs full band at JD's of March, 13th to 14th of March.
Hell yeah.
And March 27th, we're doing Lawnmower Dogs Acoustic Trio, otherwise known as the Weed Whacker Dogs.
That's a good name.
And at the filling station in GI, and then I'm playing the Leftmore show with Joe at the other side on April 8th,
Hell yeah.
which is a Wednesday.
Nice.
So make it out, if not to see me, but to see Joe. So.
All right. I know we're getting pretty close on time. But real quick, a real big reason I want to have you in here is because you're someone who, like you mentioned earlier, you were always getting paid even from when you're way back gigs, when you're in high school and everything. I know so many bands, who are kind of like us at the beginning where they're not really not like to say forceful with trying to get paid, but, they just weren't really making it an effort. But it seems like you were always the opposite on the spectrum. Just explain a little bit of what it is to, like, just know your worth and how to make these people like understand what that is.
Great question.
People
Pros,
need to know.
Whatever. Okay. Number one, I'm coming from a place of being kind of spoiled because I grew up in an area where there was like no competition, and to ask for money was expected.
Yeah.
So that was my experience with music growing up. That it was, I mean, other than playing house shows, like if you're playing a house show, you're not going to get paid.
Yeah.
That's not what you're there for.
Yeah.
So, but if you're playing at a venue that is profiting from your being there, then you should be compensated in some way.
Yeah.
And if you're cool with the risk of the door, you should get the whole door, okay? Because you're taking the risk. Venues that take a cut of the door is bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't allow people to do that to you, because when you allow someone to do that to you, you're doing it. They're allowing them to do it by extension to every other musician.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you think about getting paid and stuff like that, and having I say the integrity to get paid. If you don't get paid, like, don't get your feelings hurt. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I get it. There's all different reasons to whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're paying, there's specific gigs where it makes sense. Like, number one, if I'm playing a charity gig, obviously, I expect to get paid. If I'm playing a house show, I don't expect to get paid. Okay.
Certain support shows, I guess.
Yeah. So there's certain things, where, whatever. Or like you're playing at like something where there's like, hey, this is a convention for people that hire bands. I would play that for free because I'm playing to people that are going to hire bands.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm a band, So those,
Yep.
if you talk about exposure dollars, that's the maximum amount of exposure dollars. Okay.
Yeah.
In any other scenario other than that, exposure dollars don't exist. Okay. So here's the absolute blunt and probably disgusting way that I'm going to put this. Even hookers get paid. Okay. So make sure you get paid.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And I hope I don't offend anybody with that. But I'm just saying, you have value. You've put time and money, lots of money probably.
Yeah.
And lots of time probably into your craft. And if it's worth their time to contact you about performing, it's worth your time to make sure that they pay you.
Yeah.
Right? If the venue is selling stuff because you're there, charging a door, doing whatever, right? I am against door deals, especially if it's a bar, someplace that's selling drinks.
Yeah.
Okay? Because for every customer you lose because you're charging a door charge and they say, screw that, I don't want to pay $5 to get in there, you're losing $30 to $50 minimum per person that doesn't come into the bar.
Yeah.
So you lose one guy that walks away, or say it's one couple, it's one guy and a girl, right? They walk away. You just lost $100. For $10.
Yeah, yeah.
You were going to make $10 off them at the door, and you lost $100 in drink sales. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you're a bar and you're there to sell drinks, sell drinks. We're here to keep people there and make them want to drink.
Buy more drinks, yeah.
But on the other side of that is if you're a band and you're playing at a bar, you need to make the effort to make sure that what you're doing is supporting the bar's business.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to do that, then number one, don't expect to be asked back. And number two, then maybe you shouldn't ask to get paid.
Yeah.
Right? So there's lines to both sides of that, right? So you have to meet that expectation. But you got to realize that it's a business agreement that's mutually beneficial. And if it's not mutually beneficial, then don't do it. On either side, I've turned out gigs where I'm like, we're not a good fit for you.
Yeah.
They're totally willing to pay me the money. And I say, we're not the right band for your situation.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hose that guy. Okay? You're not here to take the money and run.
Yeah.
That's not, especially as a local band. You know what I mean? That's what people from Nashville are for that come through Kearney, Nebraska and play.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
No offense to anybody, but I'm just saying. Those people are coming, they have no connection or care or what. They don't care if the bar's closed next time they come through.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you as a local band should care. Because that's
your scene.
That's your scene,
Yeah.
right? So you have to do your due diligence to make sure it's beneficial to them as much as it's beneficial to you.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying don't negotiate on your price, but make sure you get paid something, and make sure that you know what that something is.
Yeah.
And make sure that you have it in writing.
That's true. Yeah.
Just for the safety of both parties.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I don't trust you. It's not what it's like. Have it in writing. It's so easy to get a contract. If anybody needs a contract draft for a band, seriously, Facebook me or email me, and I will give you a contract draft from my band, and I'll remove all the stuff that's relevant to what I do. But, I mean, when I send out a contract, it's got requirements for power and stage, how early we're going to show up to the gig, you know, what if they have a change of location, if it's an outdoor gig, you know, what happens if there's a weather thing and they don't have a backup location, you know, all of that stuff that could happen. You got to have that in there. And that's again, on the part of the venue, and you need to make sure they read that contract. But I can't tell you, before I started doing that, how many times you show up to the venue and they don't have adequate power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I can't play because I can't plug in my stuff without burning it up. I've got $10,000 worth of equipment with me.
I'm not going to risk that.
I'm going to plug it in. That's going to blow up.
Yep.
You know, and that's the deal. And it's in my contract. It's like, we show up and they don't meet their requirements, we get paid in full.
Yeah.
That's the agreement. You knew the things you had to do. I knew the things I had to do. I'm here with my stuff and I'm not playing somewhere else. If I can't play because it's your fault, then that's what it is. You
know?
In
writing.
Yep. So you just got to do that stuff to protect yourself, and not to like be a jerk, not to try and trick anybody, not to try and rip anybody off. It's just to make sure that everybody's on the same page and keep everybody honest. So that's where it's at. You have value. You deserve to get paid. Get paid. You know, but again, you have to take into account what type of band you are. So when you're doing original music, things are slightly different.
Yeah.
But again, if you're
can still
playing,
be serious about it.
If you're playing at a bar, either that bar thinks that your being there is going to increase their sales.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if they don't believe that, there's no reason for them to hire you. Even if you're doing it for free. It's not worth the effort on their part to have you there.
If no one's going to show up.
If they don't believe at some level that your being there is going to increase their sales. Okay, that's the number. That's point blank.
Yeah.
They will not hire you unless they're idiots. They will not hire you unless they think it's going to be monetarily beneficial to them. So, by that understanding, if it's monetarily beneficial to them, it should be monetarily beneficial to you.
Yep.
But just know going into that then, if it's not, nobody shows up, they take a loss, whatever, you then have the choice, and I learned this from Marvin, to say, hey, you didn't make any money tonight, keep my cut. Or you can take the money and run and say, see you later, screw you, and you're never going to be back there again. Okay? So, and that's the choice you have to make, but that's your choice at that time. But when they say beforehand, we're not going to pay you, they're saying you're not worth anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a lie, because they would not be hiring you if you weren't worth anything.
That, yeah.
So it's just a ruse. It's a total lie. So don't let people do that to you. Don't let promoters do that to you. Anytime promoters do that, I'm sorry, I don't like most promoters. I never work with a promoter.
Yeah. I mean, there's pretty bad experiences.
I don't care.
Whatever.
You know, I have multiple bad experiences that I could share, but I'm not going to do that on this venue. But
let's just say you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
I know what I'm doing.
If you're listening to this, I mean, I'm talking about the promoters too. The promoters, they know what they're doing to us there. So that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's not a bitterness thing or whatever, but it's just, you know, you got to do what's fair and right. And that's not been my experience.
Just know your worth.
You know, so that's where it is. Get paid. You deserve to get paid. If you don't feel that you deserve to get paid, still get paid. Because the fact that you don't get paid impedes other people's abilities to get paid.
Yep.
Which is why I've never played in Lincoln with the Dogs once. And we didn't get paid. We were promised pay.
Yep.
And we didn't get paid. I've never gone back. Nothing against Lincoln. Nothing against, like I say, what venue it was. But that's what it is.
Yep.
Because there's too many people that'll do it for almost nothing or nothing. And it costs me. When I pull a trailer, I get 11 miles a gallon.
That's not good at all.
It costs me $40 to get to Lincoln and back.
Yeah.
And that's if I only got to take one vehicle. which means I'm not bringing the PA.
Mm-hmm. See, I mean, I always understood that about the whole thing about being hungry and everything, but I definitely feel bad because I've contributed to that. You know, where you're going to go to a show, you're going to play, and then you're going to let them not pay you